So, hello, welcome to the Prosperity Interviews. I'm Tracy Gorman, and I am here with Heidi Pliam today. Hello, Heidi.
Hi, Tracy.
For our listeners, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're up to?
Okay. So I've been a lawyer for 25 years. I've been an entrepreneur for much longer than that, kind of a lifelong serial entrepreneur. And I've been zigging and zagging much of that time. And what I'm up to now is really embracing my identity as a lawyer, which I've tried to run from for 25 years, but I find like literally just recently embraced that. Okay, I can do that in my way, and then it's exciting. So that's what I'm up to, is reinventing myself yet again, but this time coming back full circle into, law practice is really what I want to be doing.
Okay, so you said you ran away from that. So there's
Yes.
a story there. Tell us. What's
Yeah.
that about?
Yep. Well, it's so many things. So first of all, as crazy as it sounds, I was not thinking of going to law school to become a lawyer. I was thinking of it for a number of things, including like I'd had a lifelong interest in entrepreneurship and business. And I thought it would be helpful to have a law degree. I wouldn't recommend going to law school if you want, just because you want to be a business owner. That's a stupid pathway that I took, but it turned out for the best. But so really, because I couldn't reconcile my entrepreneurial spirit, my drive, and truly the transformation I want to see in the world and want to help create in the world, with the traditions of law, the heavy burden of how law has to be done precedent by precedent, and you can't, it's really a hard place to innovate and disrupt.
Right.
Though I have tried. So that's the running away piece that you're seeing, as I've tried many times to do it in my own way. And I think I figured out a lot of things, and now I'm ready to run with you know on the pushing that edge forward in the legal industry, hopefully, but also
Wow.
still knowing enough about the rules that I'm not going to violate, so that I stay on the right side and don't violate ethics rules. And it's a fine line sometimes.
Oh, we need people like you. That's
Oh, thank you.
amazing.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay. So I guess this would be a good, sounds like your path has been a journey. And as we're talking about prosperity today, that can be a loaded word. What does prosperity mean to you?
Oh my goodness. Opposite of what I think the world defines as prosperity. To me, prosperity, first and foremost, is what's inside.
Hmm.
If you are fulfilled, whole, and really understand and accept, you know, that you are um, the master of your own domain, for lack of a better word, that 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 nobody can hurt you but you, that you get to choose how your life works out. Those are things to me that create the greatest riches in a life. And so from that can come the outer riches that people think of, I think, generally when they think of prosperity. But it starts,
Prosperity versus wealth, right?
yes, exactly,
They're different
exactly.
words for a reason, right?
Yeah, you got it. Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know I guess I know that you've done a lot of work along the way, both in your businesses and on yourself. Can you tell us a little bit about that journey? I mean, who was Heidi 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and what have you learned since? What would you do you have any like wisdom that you would share to someone starting out along that path?
Oh my gosh, there's so much. Where do I even begin, right? I mean,
Right.
you know, I think the the necessity to um, be connected to other like-minded people who support you in life, that's been a huge journey for me.
Mhm.
Really choosing uh like Oprah, I think, says, people reveal themselves to you early. um believe them. And that
The first
that's one,
time.
the first time. Thank you. You know that quote. Yes.
Of course we do. Yeah. I repeat it to myself often.
Yes. Yeah. So for whatever reason, I kind of spent many, many years of my life wanting to believe what in people's potential rather than what they were showing me. And yeah, that's kind of cool in a way. To see their potential is good, but to bank on their potential, that is not so good. So that's been one of my big journeys, is just putting up good, healthy boundaries between people who are really not going to support my life in a way that I see my life and what I want for my life. That's a huge one. And then, but also not blocking everybody out, which is another mistake I made at some
Right.
point in my life, inventing in a in a silo, and not not really maybe having the confidence to go up to the people who are way up the ladder for me and saying, hey, I want to be where you're at. So it's absolutely vital, I think, for people to find the courage to say, hey, this is my identity, this is the life I want to create, this is where I'm going, and I know I'm not there yet, but how can I deliver value to you in such a way that I can be in your space? And I didn't know that. So I was off inventing stuff in a silo, doing some cool invention work. It's, disrupting
Mhm.
the legal field in cool ways that I think I'm going to now be able to do, that I'm integrating with the legal community. I can bring those things into an environment that can actually flourish. Whereas before, me in isolation, that was going nowhere. So, I mean,
So
so there's our couple
community,
things.
that's to seek a
Community.
community that will lift you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's interesting. I think, we've mentioned Oprah. There's a couple other people that talk about your tribe. And I think Mickey talks about it in terms of a posse.
Yeah.
We don't need more friends. We need a posse, people who will support our growth in that area. So I guess thinking about that, what has your relationship been with Mickey?
Oh my
And
goodness. I mean, it almost brings tears to my eyes, honestly, when I think of Mickey, because she's been there for really hard times.
yeah.
Um, when I was going through those stages where I was, around the wrong people who were not supporting me, but really taking away from everything that I was trying to do for my life. And she
Mm.
was right by my side, in this most supportive way I can ever imagine, somebody's being there and, holding firm on the vision I held for myself. She held that space for me when I didn't even see it for myself at times. And, she did it in a way that was like non-judgy of the people I was around. Like, she wasn't going to engage in a, like, they're a bad, like that victim-y conversation, like, oh, those are bad people. Never. It was always like, that's not really supportive of you, and helping me see, so that allowed me to be undefensive, like, I'm not going to protect those people in my life I had chosen. With When I was talking to Mickey, she did it in such a way that I could let my guard down and really see the truth of what was going on. And I had no need to protect them from somebody who was telling me they were not good for me. That wasn't the case. She was just pointing me in a direction of, like, yeah, but look what's over here, what's possible, and how great that could be, and helping, just continuing to redirect me. And yeah, I mean, Mickey's seen
Focusing
that
on
a lot.
you and what you want, what you're choosing for. I mean,
Yeah,
there's choices, right? We always have choices.
yeah,
And what are you
absolutely.
choosing? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so she has been somebody who I always felt like she saw me, like truly saw me in that deep and powerful way that
Wow.
few people see me, I feel like sometimes. And and that's and then and holding a very high bar for where she, could see that I wanted to go, and not letting me choose a different path, but gently, like I said, gently, just showing me and reminding me of who I am and what I could be doing. So
Wow.
yeah,
Wow. That's nice. That's nice.
yeah,
Um, And so we may be doing multiple interviews, so we're keeping each one kind of short little segments here. But what about looking forward? We've looked past.
Yep.
How about looking forward as you know, prosperity isn't a destination, right?
Yeah.
It's a path.
Yeah.
And so do you have any goals for the future or things that you're working towards that you would be willing to share with us?
Absolutely. Like I said before, I'm kind of reigniting that inner flame as to what's possible when I align my true identity, values, and goals, with what's in front of me right now, which is this legal system. And so I'm really very much excited about what's to come, hopefully sooner than later. In kind of relaunching the firm, um, focusing on entrepreneurs, highly driven, highly motivated business owners, people who want to go from 0 to $1 million net worth. They don't have to start at 0. I'll take people.
Okay.
Absolutely. But the idea is like, really, this is possible. And now I know what that looks like. And now I know the ways that this can work well. And I know kind of what people need in their attorney that I didn't understand before. What is somebody who says, yeah, and this is how you do it, instead of, no, let me tell you all the reasons and educate you why you can't do that particular thing that way because the law says this, that, and the other. Like, I'm just like, I don't care. Like, okay, I know the law says you can't do it, but that doesn't matter. Well, all that really matters to people moving forward with that intense ambition is that they have somebody who deeply cares about their journey and getting them there successfully, and who says, yes, and let's do this. And this is the way to do this. So that's in a
Yes,
nutshell.
and isn't that powerful?
Super powerful.
I
Yeah.
can't believe how long it took me in life to like even learn that concept. Yes, and right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so powerful. And thinking about that, what are some other things as we think of habits that lead towards prosperity? So what do you do to take care of Heidi, or things like remembering yes and, or Oprah's phrase? What are some of the things that and maybe they're daily rituals or things that you do
Yeah,
in life to keep you
absolutely.
on the path?
Yeah, I mean, these excuse me, my my daily rituals are fundamental, I think, to my success. And it's and I would say it's really I have a morning routine and an evening routine.
Okay.
And a big piece of that is meditation and visualization. It's not just strategically planning my day, which is also a part of it. And of course, exercise is a part of that as well. I mean, just so how much of my business success in those routines, start my day and ground my day. And it's all about personal care. But that's my success in business, is because I've taken care of myself first.
Okay. So meditation, exercise, daily planning,
And visualization. I mean, this
visualization.
was, yeah, that's a big one too. And I don't spend a lot of time on all of this. I mean, I have a very busy calendar, but it's minimally every day, both in the morning and at night, I have to be thinking through, okay, I kind of do a SWOT analysis of my day in the morning. I think through, okay, here's the opportunities. When I'm looking at my calendar, here's the opportunities, here's the threats, here's the, my weaknesses and my strengths for today, just based on, okay, checking in with myself. I feel feverish or, maybe poor in some ways, but I'm still going to go forward, but I adjust based on what's going on currently for me and plan out and think through that. But then I also visualize, and I see myself in those meetings that I'm going to go into. I just stop for just a moment to see it going well, to see me engaging the way I want to engage with the meeting and the people, and whether it's clients or business network or whatever.
And do you write it down at all? Do you journal about these things, or is it things that you like kind of more meditative and thinking about it?
It's a little of both. The visualization is often, like I said, sometimes it's just on the fly. It's like being intentional, like, okay, I see this going this way. That's what I want to create just before I'm walking into a place. But then there's the on the actual rituals in the morning, that there is a written piece of that as well. Just again, none of them, I think the meditation's only 10 minutes, and nothing else is more than a couple minutes, but just it's the regularness of, it's really, like setting myself up for success for the day, and then honoring and being grateful for the day that just happened, no matter what happens. It's just how I figured out works best for me.
Yeah, gratitude. That's another one, right? That it attracts more good things.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you, I mean, it's just, if you don't even believe in the law of attraction, if all I can say to people is just try it. I don't understand it, but somehow or another, the practice of it makes me feel better. And I just start with that for people who don't do gratitudes. Just don't even think of the law of attraction. It doesn't even matter if it's true or not true. It really does.
Right.
Just do it,
True.
and it'll make you feel better. And, so that's useful.
And thinking about what you were saying before, that we need other people, and it's not just us, and combining that with the gratitude, who are some people that have made a difference for you?
Oh my gosh.
Obviously, Mickey.
Obviously, Mickey Mikeworth. I mean, always there for me. I mean, she's been so amazing. I talk about gratitude, right? I mean, like I said, every time I think about that, I start to get tearful, because she's been that powerful of a support system for me through the years. Like I just super love that woman. So what a gem for our community as well. I mean, she just does so much. But other people, it's really interesting. I have picked some mentors more recently that I've been following that are, almost like just completely almost diametrically opposite to others out there that I had been following. And it's like, what I'm realizing is they all have a piece to contribute. So, like right now, there's a guy who's super famous. I don't like to say his name because I don't actually want people to follow him. And yet even that guy, and the reason I don't is just I'm not going to call him a scam, but like, I don't think he's the best place to go, but he's got a big, well-recognized name. And so I really received a lot from him. But I also see some things I don't like, so I'm not going to really name him, but I received what I considered like this spark of an idea came from hanging out in his space. Okay. And then another mentor who I absolutely will name, because I adore this guy, despite the fact that he's got a lot of haters online. That's JT Fox. I mean, because what I've seen once I've gotten to know him is that he actually super duper cares about the people sort of in his flock or whatever, like his people. Like he has helped me personally, and like he invests in people's deals who have no money. Nobody else does that, like that's kind of insane. It's a big pain in the neck. But he does it because he cares. And so anyway, so that's one person. But I guess my real point is that help comes from everywhere. Even when in places I'm not going to go out and recommend, but nonetheless, it's really, are you listening to the help that's out there everywhere? You just got to be taking in the lessons and letting them land with you, because anybody, who's shooting out advice can be, they can be spot on a couple of points. So that was my big
is awesome. Heidi, whoa, excuse me. Kudos to you, not seeing the world in black and white, but seeing the gifts that each individual can bring to our lives, and picking and choosing. You can take some and let others go, because you have that choice and control over your own life to say which ideas you're going to accept and not, but accepting the gifts when they're offered. That's lovely.
Yeah, yeah, no, thank you. And I mean, I think that's the main thing is if you're growing constantly, you're going to need constantly new mentors, whether it's reading or joining groups or all of the above, which is what I do. It's learning from all the sources. To me, it's fun, but it's also, I think, vital for growing, if you're a growing entrepreneur, to continue that pathway.
Nice. Well, thank you so much, Heidi. This has
My pleasure.
been wonderful talking with you. And so we'll end today with a go with prosperity.
Yes.
And
Go prosperity.
good luck on your journey. And we look forward to hearing more.
Thank you so much, Tracy. I will